The Florida Panthers, they've had a pretty good month. Just a week after winning the Sports Business Award for Team of the Year because judges were impressed with all the business growth of that franchise, the Panthers reached the Stanley Cup Final on Wednesday night and become only the fourth team since 1980 to reach the Stanley Cup Final, a third season in a row while they look for back-to-back titles. The business of hockey is sure different today in Florida. And this is your morning Buzzcast for Thursday, May 29th. I'm Abe Madcore. Speaking of successful franchises, congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are now in the NBA Finals, and do not sleep on Oklahoma City as a sports market. There are some very interesting projects in the mix in that city. The design firm Populous was selected to design a roughly 50-acre mixed-use development that will surround Oklahoma City's planned new multi-purpose stadium. And this is a project that also includes the contribution of Russell Westbrook Enterprises, as that company will collaborate on a stadium that will be home to professional men's and women's soccer teams when it opens in 2027. It will likely cost more than $100 million just for this downtown stadium. Now, Russell Westbrook will be the creative director of this proposed multi-purpose district. He is said to be very engaged in the project. He is a big advocate of the future of Oklahoma City. Now, why is this interesting? Well, the stadium is being funded by the city and built on 9 acres of land, and the total development, which will include the eventual new arena for the Thunder. There's that Bricktown district. There's the River Sport District that will host the 2028 Summer Olympic Games. This is expected ultimately to mean more than $2 billion worth of investment in downtown Oklahoma City. There is a lot here, and it's all connected from the Thunder Arena to the soccer facility, to the River District. Of course, there's minor league baseball adjacent to that. It's all walkable. And again, this is mostly done with public funding. So this is a very business-friendly sports market in Oklahoma City that is very bullish on what sports can do for a market. And so again, do not sleep on Oklahoma City as an emerging sports marketplace. Let's move on. We talked earlier in the week on the success of the Professional Women's Hockey League in their second season. Staying with women's sports, the Women's College World Series kicks off today, Thursday, in Oklahoma City, and that's always a draw. And there is another women's league that you're going to start hearing a lot more about. That's Athletes Unlimited Softball League. That will kick off its inaugural season on June 7th. And they have 4 teams playing a 24-game schedule across 10 different U.S. cities. Now, what's also very noteworthy is that Major League Baseball invested into Athletes Unlimited Softball League, and Commissioner Rob Manfred admitted baseball considered starting its own professional softball league before ultimately deciding to make a financial investment and partnering with Athletes Unlimited Softball League. He declined to say how much money baseball is investing into the startup softball league. However, the deal includes broadcasting select games on MLB Network. There will be joint sales and marketing efforts and certainly promotional support. Athletes Unlimited is using the financial investment to assist in operational costs and other growth initiatives. Now, this is a real game changer for Athletes Unlimited. Co-founder John Patrikoff said that talks began last year that included CAA evolution, and he believes this will really change the trajectory of pro softball in the United States. And remember, longtime baseball executive Kim Ng was also recently named commissioner of Athletes Unlimited Softball League. She has a ton of respect around the game. So again, something to watch, a new league starting with the support of Major League Baseball. You know, earlier in the week, we talked about the good reviews that Amazon Prime received for its inaugural NASCAR broadcast on Sunday around the Coca-Cola 600. And the numbers of viewership are healthy. Prime Video drew around 2.6 million viewers for the race. And remember, this marked the first NASCAR Cup Series race to ever be offered exclusively on a streaming platform. That's what's key. So yes, is the audience down? It's down 16% from what Fox drew last year. But the 2.6 million viewers is right around the number of viewers that the Cup Series would average on cable TV, such as FS1 or USA Network. NASCAR Commissioner Steve Phelps said at the start of the season that he expected the viewership on Prime Video to be very similar to what NASCAR would draw on cable TV. He had confidence that the sports fans would find the outlet, and there's always concern that the numbers will be a bit suppressed when you're exclusively on a streaming platform. But that's not proving to be the case around NASCAR, and given that NASCAR fans tend to be a bit older than other sports, it was questioned whether they would find the races. But they found this first Coca-Cola 600. This is the first of 5 races that Prime will air, and Prime Video's median age for Sunday's race, 56 years old. That is 6 years younger than the median age for Cup races on linear TV outlets. And that follows a similar trend we see. Viewers on the streaming platforms are younger than on linear television. So again, the early numbers for Prime Video and NASCAR quite positive. Let's shift to football. The Denver Broncos, they're doing some interesting things under their new ownership. Fans seem to be noticing. Single game ticket sales are up 41% over last year since the schedule was released May 15th. Remember, the Broncos are coming off a season where the team made its first playoff appearance in 9 years. So the fans are responding. The Broncos sold 7,000 tickets in the first 24 hours after the schedule's release. They've done a lot of different things. More dynamic pricing, more communication to potential buyers in the weeks leading up to the schedule release. So it seems the team had a smart approach to the market. But let's be honest, the Broncos have long been one of the best drawing teams in the NFL. Fan base, amazing. They have the 4th largest stadium capacity in the league, behind only AT&T Stadium, MetLife Stadium, and Lambeau Field. So yes, while single game seats are thriving, it should be noted that this team does well year over year. They have an active sellout streak that dates back to 1970. But this year, energy in the Mile High City and around the Broncos seems even stronger. And we'll end with this. The Commanders, they are making a name for themselves. And yes, winning definitely helps. While the team's name, the Commanders, may not have been the most popular choice when it was introduced a few years ago, a new Washington Post poll found support for the name Commanders is increasing dramatically in the D.C. area. 53% of D.C. area sports fans now like or love the name Commanders. That's up dramatically from just 34% a year ago. About a third of the area residents, about 35%, do not like the name. 9% said they still hate the name. And so while popularity of the Commanders name is certainly increasing, there are still those small pockets of the traditional football fan in the DC market. But again, winning under the Commanders name certainly will help this franchise. And finally, an SBJ programming note. This week on SBJ Sports Media Podcast, Austin Karp is joined by former NFLPA senior executive George Atala, who discusses how players approach NFL media. And Austin Karp also has a conversation with Big Three co-founders Jeff Quantinetz and Ice Cube, who break down the changes they have made as the league enters its 8th season. That's hard to believe. Big Three entering its 8th season. Also, we break down first impressions of the Indy 500 on Fox and NASCAR on Prime Video. All of that and more this week on the SBJ Sports Media Podcast, available now. Like and subscribe to the SBJ Sports Media Podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. And that is your morning Buzzcast for Thursday, May 29th. I'm Abe Madcore. Thanks for listening. Stay healthy. Be good to each other. I'll speak to you on Friday.